Good evening everyone, and a warm welcome to Mystery Monday here live on Facebook, and thank you so much if you are catching the replay or watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Lucia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. As you hop on, do say hi. Would love to know who's about. And if you're new to us here, do introduce yourself and let us know that you're here. Again, would love to say hi. I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. We just did a little bit of planning on the weekend, some tidying up, some started packing. So we're slowly getting there. So hopefully we'll be all organised by the time it's time to go. So I think tonight might be my last Mystery Monday here from Melbourne at least. I will try and get on while we're away. I won't promise that it'll be the same time or the same day even, but I will try and get on weekly still and let you know what's going on. Good evening, Anita, how are you? Oh, hi Angela, how are you going? Nice to see you on. Yeah, so like I said, I think tonight might be the last one. I'll see how I go next week, but if I'm under the pump with everything else, I probably won't be able to get on. So not a lot new happening in the Stampin' Up world. The mini's live. There is a scrapbooking companion to the mini as well. I did print it off today, so I will show you a few things from there at the end of tonight. Good evening, Joan. You stayed up, thank you. And World Card Making Day is the other thing. So World Card Making Day is the 5th of October. If you just go to the website, you can register there. Please do, it'll be a lovely afternoon. If you register, then you will be given the links for the day. So it's free to register, but if you don't register, you won't receive any links. So please do remember to register, because I think it will be a good evening. So we might just move over. I'll get some of my stuff out of the way here. Actually, not too far out of the way because I still need that. All my notes. So tonight we are doing a step card. So I am going to, like I said on the thing, go through it step by step, and I'll show you exactly what we're doing. So let us turn around. We will get just a little bit closer. Oh, sorry. We will do that. Good evening, Renee. How are you? Okay, so what I do have here is my paper trimmer. We might just come down just a tad more as well, and up a little bit. Hello Jackie and hello Natalie, how are you both? We're doing a step card tonight, so I was actually going to go through it and show you exactly how to do it here as well. So I do have a piece of A4 cardstock in the South Pacific in Australia, that's what we have. And I'm going to cut it in half to give us our regular card front. So 14.85 straight through. Okay, we'll save the other one for another card and we will work on this one. Now I do have my prototype, which has got a few wrong score lines on it, but that's fine because we'll follow the right ones. Hi Patty, how are you? So our biggest cut in this is this cut that we're doing through the center here. So it's not tricky, but it can be a little scary because you're cutting up the middle of your card. So what have I done there? 7.2. And I haven't exactly gone halfway either. So I've got my right hand side is 7.5 centimeters in. Okay. So I am going to pop this in at 7.5. Okay. So once that's in at 7.5, then what I want to do is cut from 2.5 centimetres all the way up to 16.5 centimetres. Okay, so what I'm going to do is lift up my arm, put my cutter at 2.5 centimetres. Now when you purchase this cutter, your arm actually comes in inches. If you look in the catalogue, you can actually purchase another arm. I think it's $8, and it does have metric up the side. So if you're like me and you always use metric, I'm very much a metric girl, and I did need my metric arm. So I have got metric down the side here as well. So your little cutter has got little pointers on either side, and I will show you up a little bit closer. You can just see these little divots here. And I want that to be right on the 2.5 centimetre mark. So just up a little bit further, obviously. Okay. So I'll make sure I'm at 7.5. I'm at 2.5 here. And I'm going to come up to 16.5. Okay. So that is our first and scariest cut, I would say. I'm going to turn it now so it's landscape. And on what was the left-hand side, I'm going to score that at 10.5. So that is my halfway mark. So I'm taking my trimmer completely out of the way, so I've got I won't make a mistake, accidentally trimming something, and I am going to score that at 10.5. Okay, so we have a score line on this side at 10.5. Now I'm going to work on this side, which was the right-hand side, and I'm going to score it at 2.5. So again, I'm just going to 2.5 here, and I'm just scoring this side. So 2.5. Then I'm going to score, let me bring this down a little bit so you can see it. Then I'm going to score at 5. So we move that along to 5 centimetres. Then I've got 8.5. Hello Glenda, how are you? I hope you're well. So 8.5 is our next. Then I've got 12. And then my last one is 16.5. which is, I do have to open up my side to get to my 16.5. So 16.5. Okay, so that is what our card looks like so far. So just taking my trimmer out of the way completely, I will get my bone folder. So what I'm firstly going to do is to score that left-hand side in half. Not score it, burnish it. So that's one side of our card. Now, this other side, I'm going to start off with the back and go a mountain, then a valley, then a mountain again, and then a valley. So I'm basically concertinaing it all. Hello, David, how are you? Lovely to see you. I am just showing people how to make cards. So I'm just, again, burnishing all of those, just so that they sit nice and flat. So that is what we're going to end up with there. So that is the basis of our step card. So if you've been able to follow that, that will give you your card. And then we can just go ahead and decorate it. So I can, and I could do this a little bit neater for you as well, pop this up for you on the page, just so that you've got all the measurements. The only measurement I haven't got is that 7.5 across here. Yeah, I have done, John, but I could do another one. definitely. And sometimes people miss them too. So John was just talking about doing a paper trimmer tips and tricks, which is a good idea, I think. So what I'm going to use now is Sophisticated Sled. So this is in our online store at the moment. So you can get the bundle, which is the dies and the stamp set, and that is $92.50. Or you can get the dies for $61 and the stamp set for $42. But you know, if you're going to purchase both, purchase them at the same time, because then you'll get your 10% off. So we will start off with, and silver was the other thing I was going to use too. So I have got a few little bits cut out. So let me pull those in. So I have got silver that I'm going to use on the base of all those steps. So I'm only decorating the fronts of those steps, okay, and the front of our card there. So the silver is 7 by 10, this one's 7 by 4, 7 by 3 and 7 by 2. And then I've got the white to pop over the top, and that is 0.4 less, so 6.6 by 9.6. 6.6 by 3.6, 6.6 by 2.6 and 6.6 by 1.6, and that's giving you a 2mm border all the way around that as well. Alrighty, so we might even just start gluing some of those together. Maybe not. Do you know what? We'll start decorating this side first, because then that will help me decide what I'm doing on the other side. So I am going to do the wreath, and we'll do some skates as well. Good evening, Helen. How are you? So I'm going to stamp the wreath in garden green. What I'm also going to do, because it is photopolymer, I am going to pop my piercing mat underneath, just so it gives us a clearer image. And we'll just make sure that that is all inked up nicely. A little bit blurry. Do you know what? We might try that again. My ink pad is quite juicy, so I'll just give that another go. We'll see which one's better. I think the first one might be. Yeah, we'll go the first one still. It's just a little bit fuzzy because of the inky pad. So if you do have an inky pad, a way around that, actually let's try this again, because we can get around that too. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, with a plastic spoon, I'm just taking some of the ink off and dragging it to one side of my ink pad. Okay. And let's go again and see how we go. That is better. Alrighty. And we'll stick with that one. Pop him out of the way. Now I am going to colour that. So I have got some, because we've got the Misty Moonlight card base, I'm going to use some Misty Moonlight. I am going to use some Real Red. That's my dark Real Red. And then I'm going to use some Garden Green. So let's go along and we'll do our berries in the Real Red. Now again, I think I may have coloured something like this in earlier as well. Because it's so tiny, I'm not going to do too much with the blending. We will just be mainly colouring. So this is the light Misty Moonlight. I know wreaths aren't generally blue, but because we're using the card base in the Misty Moonlight, I just thought it would be nice to introduce Misty Moonlight in the wreath as well. So like I said, just a little bit of artistic license here. And with these ones, I will just do the tiniest bit of blending because these are a little bit bigger. So just at the bases where it's joining the wreath, I'm just doing a little bit of dark, and then I will go back in with my light, not all the way up to the top, just 3/4 of the way. So that gives me 3 different shades then, hopefully. So that's what that gives you there. So there's just that little bit of blending in those. And then with the garden green, there is no garden green in the, now did I use garden green? No, I didn't. I actually used Granny Apple Green, and I do have Granny Apple Green in the blend, so let me get the blends down because they are a little bit better. Let's see what the light one's like. Okay, so we'll go the Granny Apple Green, and that will just give it a little bit more contrast with that darker garden green then. Now generally when you're blending, it's best to do it when everything is still a little wet, but because I want to get around this and there's not a lot of blending involved anyway, I will just colour all the way around and then do my darker colour on it. Oh, do you know what? I've forgotten the whole leaf. It's just hiding back there. So who else has started their Christmas cards already? Is it still sort of a little bit too early for people, or are you all starting to get a little bit organised already? Like I said, I'm going to have to get my skates on when we get back, I think, and do a whole heap then. Talking about getting back, I am going to do an in-person class when we get back as well, and I think the date is the 17th of November is the Sunday. Do you mind checking if that's all right, John? Because I'm not 100% sure. But the 17th of November I will have a stamp camp, and we will be making Christmas cards. So I haven't finalised details yet. But once I do, I will advertise it, so then you can register and get in early for that as well. There you go. So, oh, do you know what? Just another one. There we go. Started already? Yeah, that's a good one. I like to start them. Yeah, do you know what? It's not fun rushing them, is it? I must admit, it's nice to be able to do them at your own pace. So we will cut that out, but the other thing I do want to stamp is one of these, I don't know whether they're called a cardinal bird. I'm not very good with my birds, but we will do our little bird that's here as well. And I have got my black memento. Just grab that mesh again. And just stamp a couple of him just in case one of them doesn't turn out. So with this, I will do him in red. And I'm going to start off with I have a dark real red and a light cherry cobbler. So we'll see how we go with that. But I think that'll be a nice combination. The cherry cobbler is just that little bit darker as well. So again, I'm not worrying too much about the blending as such, or the colouring, because I am going to be cutting this little guy out, and I will be fussy cutting him. So just give him a little bit of shading. And go back over him, the light to blend it in. I'm just doing a circular motion as much as I can. And then what I'll also use is my colour lifter. Just going to dot it around the top of the leaf, the wing a little bit, just to take some of that colour out of the top a little bit. You can just see it starting to come out now. The colour lifter does take a little bit of time to work as well, so don't be too impatient with it, because it does eventually happen. You've just got to give it a little bit of time. So let me get my cut and emboss machine out. I'll move some of this out of the way so I have room. Alrighty, so I've got my big one here. Hello Jenny, how are you? It was lovely chatting with you this afternoon. I've got plate number 1 and 2, and then I've got number 3, and all nice and clean, because my other one was getting a little bit done, so I thought I'd better change them. Now with this, it is just trial and error to find what way round it goes. And you know what, I had it down pat earlier. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this on straight, so. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Here we go. Alrighty. Like I said, it is a bit of trial and error and just getting it round the right way. I've just got some post-it tape there, and there is. Actually, I won't worry about the bird. I was going to cut the bird out, but I don't have to, because like I said, I am going to fussy cut. Yeah. Do you know what, Anita? Like we're saying on lives, if anything's ever going to go wrong, it's always on a live. You can be guaranteed that that's when it will happen. Okay, what else do I need? I actually need some skates. So let's get some skates on as well. So I have the blades of my skates are going to be in silver. So we'll just get a little bit of tape for that. And then I have, excuse all my little scrappy bits here. We'll have some white skates and laces. We might do in red. So I've got cherry cobbler here actually. We'll see how that goes. And we can decide to change that and do it in the either that or the misty moonlight. So we'll see what looks best. So in that way, and pop that through. And laces, okay. So there we have our laces. I'm just going to get my, take your pick tool to get all those little bits out. lot of laces. And the other set of laces. We have our bottoms of our skates and the tops of our skates. I'm just going to get rid of my dies, because if I don't put them back, we all know what happens with dies when they don't go back. And get rid of all of that. Okay. So that's all that bit. So I have introduced the silver here, and I've got the silver at the back as the mounts. So I do want a little bit more silver. Now I think I may have just used, oh no, here it is, this little piece here. So I do want a little bit more silver, and what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of silver down the side here. So I am going to use my embossing buddy. I'm going to use my Versamark, and I'm going to use my Versamark straight from the ink pad. The skates are gorgeous. I do love these. Now this card is actually, I'll show you a card that I did in my class, because that's pretty much what I've cased, is my card from my class. And I'm just going to scrape this along the edge of my cardstock. Okay, so I've got a little band of Versamark there now. I'll turn that over. And I'll pop the silver embossing powder there now. Okay. So once we've got our embossing powder there, I can get my heat tool and we can heat that up. And just to see it bubble and change. And that's a nice way of just getting a little silver edge on your cardstock. So we do actually have some cards that you can buy from Stampin' Up, and I think they have the gold on the edge, but we can do that with the silver as well. Well, silver, any colour. You could, yes, you could emboss it with absolutely anything actually. So I was thinking of putting that there, our skates at the bottom. Now, like I said, I did actually have some blue laces as well, so you can kind of help me decide what we're going to do. I will just stick the bottoms of the skates on, and remembering that our card base is the Misty Moonlight. So I'll grab these and my glue. You could do it in white, Natalie, and have it on a darker card base as well. So if your cardstock was, say, black or the Misty Moonlight, the white would look gorgeous. You're right. Okay, so one base on. There we go, two lots of blades happening. Alrighty, so then we have our laces. One green and one red. Oh, on green or red, that would, yes, yes. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the laces, John. I'm sort of a step ahead. I'm thinking about what I'm doing. So when you go to put these laces in, these skates actually have a slit in them here. So these laces actually fit in that slit. So they sit in there. So from the back, you actually see the little bit of blue from the back, but from the front, you're just getting all the laces. So like I said, we've either got the red or the blue. And I'm actually thinking the blue, because I don't think the red matches the berries as well. So sorry, I've made up your mind for you. Alrighty, so let's do that. Now I had two options for the back as well now, which I have pre-done. So for the background, I've done the silver on the side, but I have still dry embossed that as well with one of the cross-hatched online, or I have spritzed it with the Misty Moonlight blend. So we've either got that look or we've got that look. I don't know, which one do you think would look better? A bit of a splotchy look or the embossed? So I'm going to stick just a little bit of double-sided tape, tear and tape behind these. Embossed, embossed, cool. We have got two embossed. I think they already win. So what I'm doing here is just sticking that tear and tape behind just to hold those laces in place. So that one's in place and then that one there's in place. Get rid of that. Keep that here. So I might pop that up on dimensionals as well, just to give it a little bit of height. And put this towards the top. So that can go there, then our skates can hang underneath. And our skates, I was thinking we have our white baker's twine, so I can pop some baker's twine behind that and have them hanging from that. And because the back's embossed now, the skates are actually going to stand out a little bit as well. And the other thing I have is some of this iridescent ribbon, which I thought would make a nice bow. And then we can have the skates hanging down from that. And we could actually do a double bow in this and have the skates coming from the ends of the bow. Let's see. Okay. So we might do that and stick that on there and have the skates hanging from that. Let's see. Yep. Alrighty. So I did have some scissors here a minute ago. Alright. Sorry, I'd already pre-tied my bow because online I just know what I'm like. I would have been all fingers and thumbs. So we'll grab a glue dot. Pop that behind our bow, pop him on the top. And then we'll cut the ends off so that they match, and then we can pop this one on as well. Sorry, just popping that glue dot behind. Popping that in the middle there. And like I said, then with these bits hanging down, we can actually, I'm just going to take the back off of those and actually attach one side of this to it. I won't pop it right down yet because we'll figure out where we want to put them first. And this one to hang a little bit lower. Okay, so I might even put them on dimensionals too, actually, now that I look at them, just so that they're sitting up a little bit. Ribbon out of the way. It can go that way, and another dimensional. Okay, and with the ribbon, I'm just going to cut those ends. That way. And that way. Might just cut a little bit more off this side. And just be careful that we don't start trimming it too much. There we go. And then you can fiddle with that bow. Sometimes they don't like to sit the right way. Okay, so that now can live on that side of our card, and then we can get these little bits up as well. So stick these down. Because you're gluing it onto the silver does get quite slippery, so you do have to give it a little bit of time to dry, because otherwise the cardstock does just slip and slide with the glue on the silver. And I will emboss something on that as well. So something else I did do earlier was die cut a tree, and I will just tell you something about this tree as well. So this tree here is from the Frosted Forest dies, these ones here. It is quite long. When you're putting this through your embossing machine, I don't know whether you can see the little kink in it here, make sure it's all the way in. When I put mine on, I had it, I've never ever done it before to any of my dies, but I was running it through the machine and I did have it sticking out a little bit, and I did bend it. So it did go through. It was the day for it today, Anita, honestly. I think it was after I was watching you. Oh, no, it was before I was watching you that I did it. So I put it through and I did put a kink. So always make sure that your dies, especially when they're like this and thin, they are completely on your plate. So then you don't run the risk of actually bending them, because these are quite thin at the ends, and those machines are really strong is the thing, because like I said, it still ran all the way through it, but this was bent on a bit more of an angle. So I have straightened it up and it still cuts and it's still fine, but buyer beware. Like Anita said, do as I say, not as I do. So this one I'm actually going to stick, let's stick this onto my card first, and then I can show you where the tree is going to go. So this is being stuck here. I can put the next one on as well. No, you didn't jinx me at all. It was my own fault because I was just rushing things and not paying attention. And that's what happens when you don't pay attention. Like I said, it still works fine, so we're quite lucky. Don't have to buy any new dies or anything. So that one's going there. So as you can see, I'm just doing every second one because I just want the backs of those steps. And so this tree here, I'm just going to pop at the base of the white there. And we'll just cut him off at the end. And then that bird that I did earlier, we can pop in the tree. So let's get him. And we'll just quickly go around the bird. And this is why I didn't worry too much about how he was coloured in and if I went outside the lines or anything, because I'm cutting him right on the edge of the black. So even when you're cutting him, because it's on white cardstock, next to the black when you're cutting, it is going to look white because that's the core of your cardstock. So what you can do then to fix that up and to make it look a little bit better is I'm just going to use my Stamp Right marker, and see how the edge is all quite white. I'm just going to go round it all with my black marker. So then I've got none of that white showing anymore. So all the way around. Done. And do you know what I haven't done is his beak. I am just going to do his beak in, I've just got some crushed curry. And I will put on dimensionals, no, not dimensionals, on glue, I'm sorry. And this is just introducing a little bit more of the red again. I might just put him here. I'm not going to put too much glue because I don't want the glue on the other side, because then when you fold the card up it will get stuck. And we'll just pop him there. We'll get some glue behind this one. Do you know what, it's always nice to have a card looking nice and finished. Oh, do you know what? He was going on the silver first. Nearly forgot. Just on the silver, and then we'll pop him on the card base. And this can now go just there. And what I'll also do now is just, do you know what, I've already got one done, and we all know how to emboss. I have just embossed a sentiment, and it's let's decorate the season with happiness. So it is actually from the same stamp set as well. So that's in silver. And we'll stick that on. And we'll pop this to the front of the card now as well. So this is our first step. I've not put anything on that second step. I've just left that free. And just over a little bit more. Oh, do you know what? I had the other little bit. Just thinking, I don't have. Oh, do you know what? We can actually put this on the back, so that can be our little bit to write on. Actually, that was a good idea. And I think I have another little bird that we could probably just sit in the top there. There you go. So we've even got, well, it's not the inside of our card, but the back side of our card to actually write our sentiment on as well. You might just try and curl him round the other way. There you go. So that is our card finished there. So we've got our little tree in the background with our sentiment and our little bows. And like I said, the ends of the bows are actually holding the skates on there as well. And that's the card finished from tonight. But I also have, now some of you ladies have already seen this one. So this is what we made on Friday night in our class. So we did have a little bit more happening in the steps. But this is quite fussy, I feel. Whereas I do like the simplicity of this one. Even though it's a bit fussier in the bows and things, I just like the blue and the white. And I love the blue. The blue is my favourite colour as well. So that works quite well. So I hope you've picked up a few little tips and tricks there as well as we've been making. Something that one of the ladies, or a couple of the ladies, said on Friday night when we were making, I always use the Tombow glue, and I always use this end because it's the fine tip end. But with your Tombow glue, there is actually another end. There is a flat end. So if you ever want to spread your glue out, and we were gluing vellum. So when you glue vellum, it's really good to put the Tombow glue on, but spread it completely over the whole of the vellum. So if you're using this end, it's actually, it works a treat. So this is the vellum here, and you cannot see anywhere behind that there's glue. So it actually works beautifully. But yes, do remember that your Tombow glue has got two ends. Thank you, Helen, and thank you, Jenny. It's an oldie but a goodie. Like, a step card is always really, really lovely. I do like them. So just quickly, now I've got to find where I put it. I did want to show you, ever so quickly, was our little scrapbooking brochure. And just, there's only 4 different suites in here, but I did want to show them to you. They are talking about two-tone cardstock that's coming in, which is 30 by 30. They will gradually come in all the colours. At the moment, there's only the 4 colours that it comes in. It is finer than our cardstock. It's about the same as our designer series paper. So it's don't expect it to be really thick because it's not, from the sounds of it. I've not seen it as yet, but that is what I have heard. So, and we also have, close to my heart, had a colour that was called White Daisy. So we at Stampin' Up have added it to our collection, and we have called it White Willow. So exactly the same paper, cardstock, but we have just renamed the colour. So these are the few little sweets that they have. They are scrapbooking workshop kits. And like I said, I just wanted to quickly show you because they do coordinate with other things that we have. So this one here actually coordinates with the Reindeer Days Suite collection in our mini catalogue on page 27. So you're getting all sorts of things in here. You're getting ephemera packs, you're getting stickers, you're getting plain cardstock, designer series paper, and you're looking at $65, but they make 3 2-page spreads for scrapbooking. Now, if you're not into scrapbooking, they can also make cards, is the other thing. So you've got all of that. But then you can also purchase some more paper and a stamp set as well. So that is extra, so that's over and above the actual kit as well. So that was the reindeer one. There is a Snowy Days one. So the Snowy Days one does coordinate with our snowy scenes on page 33 of the mini. So again, in the actual kit, it's $44 and you get the 2-tone cardstock, you get some white willow, you get the double-sided designer series paper, you get some single-sided designer series paper and a sticker sheet and some photo placeholders in that one as well. So you are getting quite a few spreads with those as well. So like I said, if you are into scrapbooking, fantastic. But even if you're into card making, I think they would still work really well. This is exactly the same as the cardstock, the designer series paper in the mini, except for that you get the ephemera pack, the sticker pack with these as well. And one of the others that coordinates is the Halloween Memories. So this one's $49, and this actually coordinates with one of our online stamp sets, which is Potions and Spells. There's stamps and dies that go with it. So $49, this one you get the 2-tone cardstock, the white willow, designer series paper in double and single-sided, and the sticker sheet. And there are some of the layouts that you can do with that one as well. So like I said, not something I would do scrapbooking wise, but I would probably move it more into card making. But if you're into scrapbooking, they are fantastic. And again, you've still got the designer series paper and the sticker sheets and the stamp set. And then the last one, I don't think there is anything that coordinates with this one, but this is Autumn to Remember. So this one's $74, but it's a larger, it's a lot larger. It makes 3 2-page scrapbooking spreads. And again, has about the same sheet. This one's got ephemera sheets and more sticker sheets. There's 2 sticker sheets in this one. Like I said, this is online, so you can see it all online as well. And it does explain to you online exactly what comes with everything as well. So do hop on and have a look. Like I said, especially for any of you that are scrapbookers or have scrapbooked in the past, there are some great things in there. So do check them out and just and see what you think. So I might see you, I will see you on Thursday, I would say. And like I said, we'll see what happens next Monday. So I would go with the autumn paper. You're right, Anita. That would. I will be at Doncaster tomorrow morning for coffee and cards, and that will be my last coffee and card up there until we get back. So mid-November I'll start back up again, but tomorrow will be my sort of last hurrah there for a little while as well. So again, I do appreciate you all joining me. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed the card. If I don't see you tomorrow morning, I will see you on Thursday. Thank you. Bye for now.